Yeah. I think she just thinks she's gonna kind of like. Hello, ladies. Can y'all hear me? Caitlin, I owe you a text, right?
No worries. I didn't know if you were done today or yeah.
I was done yesterday, but
And I bet you're tired.
I'm very tired and I'm a little sick.
Yeah.
And I took like a 3 hour nap this afternoon and I'm gonna go to bed as soon as we're done. I was gonna cancel this at like 5:30 and I was like, no, it's fine. Let's do it. So, hi everyone. Oh, how is everyone doing on this Monday?
Productive. Yes.
Productive. Oh, Catherine, tell us more about what that means today.
That means running from the gym to the doctor appointment to a Zoom with an attorney to
Yeah.
multiple emails and booking analytics and Facebook connections and yeah. I mean, I started to stop kind of like you about 30 minutes ago. And then I'm like, okay, have a bite and then get right back into it before you settle down for the night. Because sometimes when I eat, I just stop. I just
Oh,
stop.
yeah. Yeah. Um, well, I know that Carrie Ann is super excited for y'all's call. I took her
Oh
to the
yeah,
airport
I
a
am
few
too.
hours ago. Yeah. So I love it. Sandra, lady, that reel that you posted, abs of freaking steel. I was like, is that her stomach with those abs that you can see? I was like, I'm gonna need to get on a new workout
Yeah.
regimen. It was awesome.
Ugh, lots of work.
I loved it. And then of course, in case you didn't know, Sandra, Ushi and I had a whole crush fest over you yesterday. I was like, I love what you've done for her. It was amazing. We're actually going to have Ushi on a call, on a Trailblazers call. So Ushi is a branding marketing expert and she's helped Sandra and several other women in the community. And then she's helped a lot of people in raising private money and RPM. So hopefully she and I are talking about some cool stuff too with Trailblazers and my brand. So it's very
Yay.
exciting.
I was just
Yeah.
chatting with her just
Yeah.
30 minutes ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then Rocio, it was your first day back with the littles, right?
Hello, ladies.
Hey, lady. Were
Hi.
you back with the littles at preschool?
I am back at a preschool and working full time with them.
Nice.
So it's exciting. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm happy.
Listen,
It's just gonna be a little challenging for me to do the TC business and the investment business, but I feel like I need to be in a good place first.
yeah,
Like feel joyful, happy, like good emotionally, so then
yeah,
I can go and do the rest.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the other cool thing is that so many women, especially in our, on our calls, work a W-2. And so they're figuring out how does that fit in? Obviously, with teaching, it's not like you're in front of a computer where you can multitask on different things.
So yeah,
Yeah, but there's ways to do it, where there's a will, there's a way. So,
yes,
um,
there is. I agree
yeah,
100%.
yeah. And sometimes just that W-2, like being an entrepreneur is freaking hard.
It is
And sometimes just having a W-2, even like this time last year, I did a consulting gig and it was just nice to have that regular income paycheck. I was like, this is awesome. Like I work a little and y'all pay me. I work a little and y'all pay me, right? Versus sometimes on the entrepreneur roller coaster, you're like, I work, I work, I work, I work. When am I getting paid? When am I going to make a dollar? Right? I work, I work, I work. Well, where's the dollars coming in? So
Right. Yes.
yeah.
I agree. But yes, I'm excited. And I'm
Yeah,
happy to
good,
be here.
good.
And I'm actually looking at a house and I'm thinking like, am I capable to raise $450,000 for this house? So,
Well, if you're not, there are people in this group that can do this, right? There's several women that, for those of you who maybe haven't joined us or are new, I see some new faces. This group started inside Sub 2. We were a weekly call for Sub 2 and Gator women. Then as I grew in my own real estate journey and joined other communities, we opened it up at the beginning of this year. So we're now 5 months into having it to open to any woman. So I just wrapped up Raising Private Money, that conference with Amy Majuri. It was freaking awesome. She crushed it again. What I love about Amy is that she puts women who are doing it on the stage.
Yeah.
And so we got to hear a lot of amazing women speak. But what's cool about it is in this group, right? Some of us are in mentorships together. Some of you are not even in a mentorship, and that's okay. You don't have to be. And if you want our feedback and thoughts, like ask us what might be worth joining it. But here's the thing, Rocio, like there are women in this group that raise money, that can help you raise money. And one of the reasons why I wanted to start this in the first place last July was I was like, if the boys all do business together, if they're constantly finding ways to do deals together, then why are we not? And part of it, I think, part of the reason I think we're not is because sometimes when we're in these mentorships, sometimes when we go to our local meetups, our local events, right? If only 31.6% of us are women as real estate investors, then when we get in a room full of 100, or if we get in a room full of 10, there might only be 3 of us. And maybe the 3 people all do the same thing, or maybe there's not diverse enough, right? To have different skill sets. And so that's one of the things that we want to continue to grow within Trailblazers. I mean, we're attracting women who don't do single family at all. They only do multifamily or commercial. We met Catherine a couple of weeks ago. She's doing stuff in Puerto Rico. She owns a boutique hotel, right? I talked to a woman last week, Jackie, who's going to start joining us. She does ground up construction, right? So we're all doing a little bit different things. And what's cool about that is if the group is too alike and we're all chasing after the same thing, we're all like, oh, I only do single family, then are we ever looking at each other going, oh shit, I didn't know I could own a hotel. But then I talked to Catherine and I'm like, man, I could own a hotel, right? Or I talked to somebody like Jackie who's doing new up construction ground up and I'm like, oh, that's intimidating. I could do that. And then I'm like, well, why couldn't I? Like, of course I could. So just remember that. Okay, so I want to hear from everyone on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the energy that you're bringing into the day? 1 is not at all. I'm not feeling it. It's been a crappy day. I have no energy. 10 is I'm rocking in here with all the excitement in the world.
Okay, I'll jump in really quick because I'm so happy Rocio's here. I'm so happy Luz is here. But I'm most happy because Jessie is here. And Jessie is an introvert. And I
Okay.
met, yes, but she's one of those quiet storms, if you will. She's a doer. I hope she can introduce herself. I'm gonna kind of push her just a little bit if she can do that. I met her today. So Jesse, if you don't mind, just you don't have to turn the camera on, just say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Hey,
Thanks,
Jesse.
Monica. Hi. Monica's correct. I am very much an introvert, but she's also correct in that I am totally ready to be here and jump into real estate investing. And I talked to her a lot today about my journey the last few months. So I had no idea this group existed until about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, Jesse, welcome. We want to be a safe, collaborative, connecting place for you. And everyone that jumps on these calls every Monday, we all come from a good place. And believe me, if there are snakes in the ground, I kick them out of our group as quickly as possible. Because like we just don't have time for that, right? But
I love
well,
that.
we're excited to get to meet you and get to know you and help you in any way.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, ladies. So I had a plan and I was going to do all this stuff. And also, Jesse, we typically have a plan. And then I'm like hit a wall. I'm at a 3. I have no energy today. I will tell you, if anybody has done 4 back-to-back conferences and has lived to survive it, I'm gonna need to know what you did, because I'm the biggest extrovert and I could go in a hole and hang out for the next 10 days and not talk to anyone. So we can do a couple of things. And so I want to get your thoughts and your feedback, and you can just drop it in the chat or you can come off. So one is, since we're kind of a small group, we can kind of stay in this group and just, we can open it up for questions. Where are you at? What do you need? Who do you need to know? How's your week been? Where are you getting stuck that you need help? Right? So we can stay there. Number 2 option is we can spend all of our time really just celebrating our successes, talking about where our wins have been, and not talk about things that we've gotten stuck. So that's option number 2. And then option number 3 is, hey, let's break up into small groups of 3 to 4, and we'll give you like 15 minutes. So we could probably do 2 groups of 3 to 4, so you can meet other people. Typically I would have a poll, but again, I'm totally shooting off the hip. So 1, 2, or 3. Monica says, see, okay. So stay in a group. Tammy says break up. Crystal says stay in a group. Okay. It looks like we're staying in a group unless anybody's like, no, I really want to meet a couple of other people. Okay, cool. So let me also tell you what we're doing next week. So what has been amazing and awesome about doing all these conferences is I've gotten to meet so many of you in person, and it's been a highlight of all these conferences because they have been exhausting. Is just meeting you and talking to you and hearing your stories. And one of the things is, before 3 weeks ago, we still were at like 520 people in the Facebook group. And as of today, we're at 613. So we know getting in person has like helped us explode, because people are like, oh, what's Trailblazers? What? There's a Monday night call I can join? What? There's women that are like me? Like, I want to do that. So next Monday night, we are going to have a state of Trailblazers, and I'm going to share with you where we have been a little bit. And I'm going to share with you our vision of where we're going, where I see Trailblazers taking off, what we're going to focus on. And one of the things that I'm super excited about is that as I had conversations with several of you, I learned that you all have aspirations, you all have the desire to be leaders in this group. And we at Trailblazers, we have that opportunity for you. We have the power to let you in and become a leader and coach you up in a leadership group. 613 is not where we're ending. So I want to tell you, where are we going? What are the plans that we are making? Plans for live events, live masterminds, live retreats, getting you on stages, which I know I talked to a lot of you about that. I've been writing that curriculum. We're going to have some surveys that go out on that. But I know a lot of you are like, hey, are we going to have like chapters in my town? Like, what does that look like? And so we also are at the place where I need your help, where I could use your help. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to get your feedback as well about what are some of the other things that you want this group to be. So that's all going to happen next week. I thought about doing it tonight and I was like, no. So let's do this instead. Because I want to bring my full energy, and I think you all deserve me like spending a little more time than just the 30 minutes I had to put together not a great PowerPoint, even though it's all in my head, getting it out. So let's do this. Let's open it up because I see people like Melissa just dropped something in here. So I want to hear, just raise your hand and we'll go in order of raised hands. What are you working on? What is the challenges that you have? What do you need? And let's also mastermind together. For this is not me giving everyone advice. You all have advice to give. So as people talk, let's come off mute and share with them there's ideas, connections that we can make, etc. Melissa, lady, tell us what's happening.
Oh my God, it's been crazy since I just started thinking about this business purchase. So I was at the Squad Up Summit, all super excited. Even Matt Sorensen kind of said a comment about me trying to buy this, medical transportation business. And it's been up and down almost every day. Like one day it's great, the next day is like, oh, let's not do that. One day is great, is like the next is like somebody says like, oh, it's too much down. Oh, it's this a problem, or that's a problem, or I don't think this is scalable, or what is the guarantees? Like so many people, the more I share, the more confusion. The more people say this is great, and some people say it's not. For the most part, people say it's not, and I get that because for investors might not be the greatest thing. But for the situation exactly that I'm in, I think is a very good next step. I think for me is getting me out of the mindset of the W-2 into the mindset of the owner, or if the entrepreneur and the business owner. Like just that little step, even if it's not a lot of money, I think it would just grow me. So I'm trying to present that to people, like, okay, this is not only for like the huge business I'm buying, changing my, it's not super like all the money in the world and I'm going to be a millionaire the next day. No, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the next step from W-2 to thinking more entrepreneur, to thinking more business owner, to like having more creative ideas of like, how do I scale a business? What does it mean to actually own a business? Things like that. And I'm like, so one day people say like, oh no, you shouldn't look into that. Maybe you should look into starting your own. And then I look into that and it's like, okay, it's not really as simple. Maybe you go back into like, maybe try to purchase this business. And then I'm back and forth into like, is it the better idea to start my own or to buy it the way it is?
Yeah.
So
tell us this, Melissa, tell us, where are you right now and where are you getting stuck? And I also want to understand, when you're talking to people, are you talking to other business owners who've done it, or are you talking to like your cousin who's never owned a business?
Oh no, I don't talk to anybody in my personal life. I only talk to this group because I don't trust anybody in my personal life. Everybody that I knew before Sub 2 or Gator are no. No, I can't even listen to my mother. I don't even tell my mother what I'm working on because it's just a down for me.
Yeah.
So I'm only sharing these things with.
Tell us where you
people
are
in
right
this
now
group.
and what is where are you getting stuck? What's the thing that you need right now?
So the latest conversation was somebody in the Squad Up Summit that is actually willing to help me renegotiate this deal. And then renegotiating might make it open a possibility to like, okay, this is doable, right? So this guy was very nice. He's very interested in like helping me. So, you know, we had a call with the seller today again, after I kind of put it into like, this is not going to work. Let's try to start it from scratch last week. And then he's like, oh, maybe it is a good idea, because the more I look into like starting it from scratch, they need the brokers and the you know the nursing homes and these places, they need credibility. They need somebody that has done it before, and they need somebody that has been in medical, like that has some kind of reputation in the medical field. And I don't have any of that, right? So the seller on this business does have it. He's been in the business for a long time. He was a dentist in his country. He's got a lot of reputation with the medical field. He has like grew this relationship with the brokers, with the patients, with all these things. So that's the value of the business. Even though a lot of people say it's a lot for a down payment, it's not worth it, you could do it your own, this and that. I still believe that there is value in the route that he has created. If I started from my own, I would have to have a partner that has some kind of medical background, and then I would have to start, and it would take me at least 6 months to a year to get a route together to be able to, you know, make steady money. So if I just purchase it right away, then it's kind of like saving the time. Now, the renegotiation part is where I'm at, and I think it could work. And I do have the property that I can pull money out, you know. And what I'm looking for right now would be a private money lender that would help me. You know, I can use my house. I have a rental house as a collateral. It's already cash flowing. It has a lot of equity, so it will be really easy to just, you know, I obviously would never want to lose my house because it's cash flowing. It's great. Worst case scenario, I would sell it and pay the private money, you know, back. So
Yeah.
I
So a
need,
couple of questions, Melissa. So, Cheryl asked, what kind of medical background do you need? How much money do you need? And then so tell us those two things real fast.
so what kind of this is a medical transportation business. I think credibility and maybe connections in the business to talk to these brokers and say that you can actually like run a medical business. It's a medical transportation. A lot of it is politics, truly. So it's not, you know, it's a lot of the relationship, because there's only very few brokers that can give you these leads or these patients, right? So you kind of have to be
Like
on them.
insurance
And
brokers, who gives you the leads?
no, there's actual brokers that deal with Medicare or Medicaid, and then they get the leads, and then they give me the routes, like the trips. It's like an Uber,
Yeah.
but for medical trips. So
And
the
so
medical trips you charge more.
do you have all their financials?
Yeah. So
And
they're
who's
making 150 a year at this point, because there's only a small route, which is very scalable, because the contract that he has with the broker is, it's all Florida wide. So it could be scalable into any like city in Florida, any zip code. So the
and you
seller
have
is
no
saying,
medical background.
right.
Okay, so I have some thoughts, but I would love to hear from anyone else who's bought or sold a business. Crystal, I would love to hear your thoughts. You guys are buying businesses, you've run businesses that are non-real estate.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. Hi, sorry I can't come on camera. I'm of course driving as usual on our calls. I'm actually heading to see Irene right now. Funny
Oh,
enough.
nice.
So I would 100%, if you can avoid it, don't start your own business. It takes so much time and effort and money. You know, you really think, oh crap, I'm going to go out and spend $1 million to acquire a business. But what you don't, you know, really think about a lot of the times for that $1 million is you're getting an already running and cash flowing business. And if you start your own, unless you have customers from day one, you're not going to be cash flowing. So that's my biggest piece of advice to anybody who's looking at either a startup or purchasing a business. If you could find one, just go that route. The negotiation side of things, you know, I don't know, Melissa, exactly what they're looking for. If they're only making $100,000 a year, I don't know if that's gross or net, but I can't imagine that they're going to be able to get that much money out of it. You should really only be looking at, for a medical, probably like a 3 to 4 times their actual net income, not on their gross, especially if they're not scaling it actively.
Correct.
So that would be one of the things that I would definitely check on. But if it's a small scale like that and they're, making 100 and say they want 50 grand down, there are so many PMLs out there that would love to, and even partners that would come in and say, okay, well, I'm going to give you, say, 25 or all 50 of this if you give me like a 25% cut, or, if you can pay me back in 2 years. There's a lot of people who will do that for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
I
much
think
are
the
they
money-
asking for this
Pardon?
business?
What?
How much are they asking?
He's asking 300, and the thing is, like, at the beginning, which is kind of like, if it's 150 what he's making, it'll be gross net, it is almost 100. It's more than 100 because there's really no expenses. The only expense will be the insurance that you have to have, and then the maintenance on the car and gasoline.
So Melissa, does he do all the driving?
He does.
Okay, so let me just say this. You're not buying a business. You're buying a job from
job.
this guy.
Yes.
This is not a
And I-
business. Now,
I
that's
clearly
not saying you
understand
can't
that.
turn it into it, but his
Mhm.
EBITDA is wrong. That is not a 3x multiple. That's like a 1.5x multiple. You should not be
Right.
paying him $300,000. It's not worth it. Unless he has systems, unless you get clients, especially if you have to go out and partner with somebody who has medical expertise. Here's
Well,
the
I
other.
wouldn't have to do that if I buy it, then I wouldn't have to partner with nobody. Then I would just buy it directly from him. If I started myself, then I would have to have the
Sure.
partner or whatever. So,
But like,
How
does
much are
he,
the
you're saying-
assets worth? Like,
Um,
sorry, I don't mean to cut in, but how much are the assets worth that you're getting out of that? Are you getting, so you're getting like the cars or the vehicles or whatever? How much are those worth to want that much? Because that does
Well,
seem
the-
high.
yeah, the assets are not worth anything. What's worth is the contract. He's got a contract
Sure.
with the broker and the relationships. That's the only thing that he has that is actually worth money. And how hard it is to get that is what's worth money.
sure,
Okay,
but does the LLC have a contract with the broker, or does
Yes.
he have a handshake deal? And how long does that actually last?
The contract is indefinite. The contract is indefinite, and it is the LLC. So I would have to buy the LLC and not the assets. Like, what I'm buying is the LLC, even though, yes, I understand that Matt Sorensen says that that's not a good idea. But I spoke with his attorney and he said, we can always work it out and there's protections to put in place. So it's still doable that way, even if I have to buy. So I'm buying the LLC with the time, in time, and with the contract in place. I cannot be like transferring the contract in my name yet because I don't have the time and the credibility. So even he suggested that I should keep the contract with the broker in their name, because it's beneficial to me to start working with this broker, to build a relationship with the broker until a year or two when I can get it changed into my name. Because they will not, and that's the reason why they will just not do that for anybody, and they just, starting my own business will not work because I will not be able to get that contract that he has.
Okay. So one thing that I'll chime in again, be very careful if you're actually buying an active LLC, because that comes with everything. In an asset only deal where you're just buying the book of business and things like that, you're just buying the book of business. There's no liability to that. But if something were to come up, like let's say something happened 3 years ago in his business and a customer comes back and sues his LLC, that's now on you unless you put proper protections in place. So it's still doable, but I really highly recommend, if you're going to continue to look at this, and it could be something that you can scale like crazy, I would get in with the broker. I would start talking to them already, see what you can do to really start that relationship and see if you can build on that business and say, hey, we're partnering now and I'm going to go ahead and try to scale this more and start that relationship. But I would get a relationship with a really good business lawyer as well to just protect you in buying that LLC, because there is a lot that goes into that outside of just the business itself.
I'm working with Matt Sorensen and Matt Setzer, which is the attorneys for Pace. So I'm already working with them, and they already told me, like, you know, it's not an issue. It is more beneficial or like recommendable to buy the assets instead. But in this particular case, because of what the reputation and what the politics of the business, it needs to be an LLC purchase.
Yeah. Okay, Melissa, if you can help Melissa, if you know anyone, if you think you can add to this conversation, will you either drop it in the chat or message Melissa?
Is what I would need. 100, 150, not sure yet, but somewhere in that range. I do have that in equity in my house, and I will pay it with not my primary, my rental property.
I will say this, Melissa. So for those of you who don't know, my husband, Shane Langford, built, scaled, and sold a company. He's in the 9% club, over 7 figures a year, right? Very few companies ever make it. Only 9% of companies make it. He now helps other people buy businesses, and the whole time he's shaking his head. Now, again, we've heard like 6 minutes of your story. So take that for what it's worth. It's total free advice. You're not paying any of us, but also remember, sometimes when you pay people, they're trying to make the deal happen because they want to get paid. So you also have to just, as Shane Langford always says, follow the money. Who's getting paid? If you're getting paid, you have skin in the game. But there's a couple of flags that you just got to work through and see if they're the right thing. Or just like real estate, business buying is not every deal is actually a deal. It took Shane going through 4 different sales processes before he actually sold. Why? Because the first time he absolutely wasn't ready. The second time he was kind of not ready. The third time he was a little bit ready. The fourth time he'd actually gotten his business to a place that it was something that somebody could buy. So just remember, sometimes we have to walk away from real estate deals. Businesses are the exact same. But lady, we're cheering you on. So thank you for sharing. Luce, what's happening, lady?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good. Thank you for asking. My question is more related to the, when we met at the brunch place, you were saying something that you were going to start teaching how to speak on stages.
Yes.
That caught my attention. That calls my attention a lot because I am a very extrovert person. And I really want to put my message out there. I created the Latinos community in Sub 2, and I also created another one for the non-Sub 2 students.
I love
So
it. Yeah, so next week we're gonna have a state of the Trailblazers, and I'm gonna talk to you about where we've been and kind of what is the future. And I'm gonna be talking about that specifically as well. I want to get some feedback. I've been building out the content and the program based on my knowledge, but I also want to get some info back from you, right? Because we want to make sure whatever we build is something that people need, right? I don't want to teach you how to pitch if you're like, I know how to pitch myself. I know how to get on stage. I just don't know what to say when I'm there, right? That's probably not the issue. A lot of people are like, no, I know what to say, but I would have no idea how to sell myself. So we come back next week, lady.
yes, I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, lady. Catherine, what's up?
Hey there. A couple of things. So I did want to share like a little success.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to kind of just voice what I'm looking for. So, I met this gal at Squad Up, which is really funny because we're in a different women's group together and we were connected through that group. So this woman is a great friend of mine and partner, Deb Razzo, who runs the Women's Real Estate Network, REN. And she lives in Los Angeles. She's my partner in one of the hotel deals. And she said, hey, while you're at Squad Up, you should connect with this girl. she's also in Gator and she's in Ren as well. So I reached out to her on Facebook and we connected and had breakfast. And really that's sort of what led me into this group, which is amazing. She challenged me with something that it didn't even occur to me. You know, sometimes I have questions, sometimes what the hell I'm doing and how much spotlight I want to put on myself. And, you know, my son will say to me, like, why don't you, you know, talk about this or post about this or share this success or whatever. And I'm like, why? Like, you know, like what's the purpose? I'm going to get more people reaching out to me who want to do a deal. I don't want to do any deals. I just want to, you know, hang out by the beach and play with my cat or whatever. Like, you know, I have those moments where I'm like, I don't want to keep grinding with a bunch of business and, you know, and putting together, you know, more deals that, you know, have been a lot of work for me. On the other hand, the private lending and Gator really appeals to me, right? Because it's more passive. It's not passive. I understand that to scale it, it's not passive, but it's more passive than say some of the deals where I'm literally hanging up artwork, showing up when the water and power go out, you know, and I'm very physically involved in some of these projects. So Belia, who I met at Squad Up, any of you know Abelia. So she challenged me. And it's funny that I had to move to Puerto Rico and then go to a Squad Up summit in Orlando to meet someone from Los Angeles, which is where I'm from, through someone who I already knew, right? So it's just, it's so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's circuit. I can't say the word. How you know, find your people. And she said to me, and she said, I'm going to hold you accountable to this, but she said, at one point I said something like, I'm trying to grow my social media for our project in Miramar for a hotel. And she said, why are you not using the community? Like, have you posted about this? Have you asked people to follow you? And I'm like, no, I hardly ever post. There's a consideration of like, people are busy and there's so much like spam almost with everyone like, hey, it's me, I just joined, la, la, la. And I'm like, I don't want to be just like part of just this traffic without like a purpose of, and so I kind of had to get away from my talk, and you've helped with that, Katie, just you know, challenging myself to have my voice, to use the platforms I have and to own it. And so I posted about this success, you know, so I did it from a place of gratitude and a place of sharing, like, here were my numbers, here's where we're at. And I do think people really like hearing those successes because it motivates other people about the possibilities. So even though it didn't come from sub 2, you know, it's nevertheless a success. And so I posted about that. I grew my followers on, you know, my new Instagram for this hotel from 100. It was like 103 last month. It got up to 160 over the weekend. And then I pushed it over 200 with that post. So, you know, got a whole bunch more followers. And also, interestingly enough, a lot more interaction where people are click-throughing on the link tree, going to our website and things like that. That went up over 1,000% in the last week.
That's amazing. So yeah,
but it also made me feel really good about just like owning what I've accomplished here. And then I thought, oh my God, I've got so many more posts I'm going to do. And so many people were interested in the tax credits. So I decided to go ahead and make a Zoom call on Friday for anyone who wants to understand the tax credits, just not sales, just like, I don't want to answer the same questions in 14 individual calls. So I'm like, here, let's do a group call. And anyone who wants to jump on this Zoom with me, I'll tell you all about how this works. And I know my son is also raising capital. So, you know, if he's able to do something like this as well, then it's showing me like, okay, I don't know why I was afraid to use the community or share, but it was really like eye-opening in the last like 24 hours since I posted that, just being like, seeing all these messages, having people reach out to me and go like, what was I being so quiet for?
Absolutely. And it's fascinating that you say this, because yesterday at RPM, a woman, and I don't know who it is, so if it's you and you're on the call, please know that I'm not shaming you at all. But a woman in the audience raised her hand and she said, you know, I got this testimonial, but I don't I feel bad putting it on social media. Why? Why do you feel bad? Someone else said something great about you. You plaster that stuff everywhere. And I'm trying to hold all of my F bombs because I've seen littles running around in the backgrounds of places. But I'm like, you're a badass. Put it everywhere.
Right.
Like, and I would love drop in the chat, like when you see other women's posts or men, right? Man, it doesn't have to be women. When you see other people doing things and they're sharing with it, what comes to mind for you? So just drop that in the post. Because one of the things that I know from my background in fundraising, so for those of you who don't know, I was in major gift fundraising for 14 years. I climbed the ladder super quickly. I've raised $35 million in philanthropic money to go towards nonprofits, specifically helping women and girls. And one of the things we always said was when people said, I want to be anonymous, I want to be an anonymous donor. We were like, yeah, okay. So it's actually not about you. It's not about you, Catherine. It's about what you can inspire someone else to do.
That's what I'm realizing. And you had a, you shook me down a little bit Saturday, Friday that we had breakfast, and I was like, oh, so there's a purpose for my voice, and it's not just about me. Because I guess I thought that the bragging, which is cool. I mean, I can brag about, I don't have a huge problem with bragging, but it was more like, what am I looking for by doing that? Am I going to just get more people who want to like take up my time with picking my brain? I get that a lot. Being in Puerto Rico and having a group, I do get a lot of people who just want to find out about the tax credits, and they want to just, can I buy you lunch and pick your brain? And, I don't love that, to be honest. They just want to find out everything that they would find out from an attorney by doing it free for me or buying my lunch, and my time is valuable. So there is that kind of, I do have a little bit of a guard up about that. And I had to kind of take that down and go, okay, you know what? You want to connect with this community because you want to do Gator deals and you want to do other collaborations with people. So you have to like lower that wall a bit and let some people in to your barricade.
And it's also okay when people say, do you want it? Can I pick your brain? No, that's a sentence. And I say that with all due respect. And I say it because I think every single one of us needs to hear it, including myself.
Yes.
I feel bad. I'm like, oh, I'm going to hurt her feelings. They're going to think I'm an asshole because I don't want to sit down with them. No. Like if you're not open to doing new deals, if you're not open to sharing that information, it's okay to say no. And one of the things, one of the women who I've followed for a long time, who is not in the real estate space, but is in the coaching space, her name is Marie Forleo, and she wrote a book called Everything is Figure Outable. Oprah, when Oprah still had her show, dubbed her like this generation's life coach guru. She's amazing. And she actually, if you Google Pick My Brain and Marie Forleo, there's a video that she does where she will give you the exact language, and it goes something like this. Sally calls me and says, can I pick your brain, Katie? Sally, I would love to be able to discuss that with you. And so I'm going to put on my professional hat. So before we discuss that, just know that I'll send over my Stripe link and it'll have my fee in it. And as soon as you pay that, you'll get my Calendly link, and then we'll schedule a call and you'll be able to discuss that with me. And that's it. You just basically say, if you're not paying me, you're not getting the information. You go figure it out. And like, not every time do we want to do that. But I will say, as an executive coach and a career coach back in the day, every freaking Sally, Jane, and Amy who wanted a new job that was somehow in my sphere of influence thought that they could just pay me. I've never gone to my hairdresser and been like, can you just cut my hair so I can pick your brain? Like, no, if you have knowledge, there's a reason why we pay to be in these mentorships. There's a reason why we pay to get into rooms, because they have knowledge and we want it. And so if you have knowledge that is something that somebody wants and they're asking for it over and over and over, they need to pay you to get it.
Right. And I actually did set up a Calendly and a Stripe, and I did have one person, only one, but that, that I directed that direction because they really wanted to
Yeah.
learn a bunch of stuff that I figured out how
Yeah.
to do. But I kind of like the idea of like a group Zoom call. I have my Saturday deal makers once a month. If you're in Puerto Rico, when people try to say, can I take you to lunch? Can I take you to lunch? And I'm like, you know what? Come on Saturday. If you want to talk to me on Saturday, like my Saturday mornings are devoted to the community and real estate, as well as, our Thursday night. But Saturday is in my house and it's more casual. And I'm like, I'm fine if you want to talk to me for 20 minutes with everyone else around who's going to get value out of that. But
Yeah.
it was putting up like a resistance with that. And I realized also that when I shared that post, that it was really inspiring. Like
Yeah,
I know
it is.
want to hear about a success story. People need to be fed on, oh my God, this is possible. And I think it's a plus that it's a woman. It's Deb and I, and then one other partner. So it's majority women. We're the ones running it and making it happen. We're the ones who did all the fundraising for it. I've got other deals like that I can talk about. And when I put them in that light, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's some badassery going on here. And
It is a big deal. It is a big deal. And I will say this, obviously I love the go-giver mentality. I do.
And your sleeping partner will love you for it.
Oh, okay. Adriana, I don't know what's going on down at your house, but okay. I love the go-giving mentality, but also I spent 14 years in a W-2. I grew up with parents who said you have to work hard to make money. So sometimes I give things away for free because it's easy and I feel guilty charging people. I don't know if anybody else feels that. And I'm like, oh, I should just give it away because it's so easy for me. And it's so like, and then I feel guilty. Like, I think some men, again, no offense to any men who might be hearing this, some men need to hear be a go-giver because they're not go-givers.
Right.
But I've never found a woman who've been like, be a go-giver. And then they're not already like, yeah, bitch, I already do that.
Right.
I'm already giving.
You don't have to tell us that. It's kind of our nature in many ways.
It's like telling a woman, like, be a nurturer. I'm the least nurturing person in the world. Shane Langford has been sick, and I'm like, buck up, Buttercup. We do not have time for this. But I'm still a nurturing human. I still am like, okay, what can I get you? Right. So sometimes I think these, like, be a servant. No, like we've already, as women, have been told that over and over. We already do that. Now I'm telling you, don't do it. Get paid for the knowledge that you have.
Right, right. And take credit. And that's the other thing. It's just owning and taking credit, putting myself out there as a leader. And it felt really good. When I kind of got out of my own way, I'm like, damn, I need to use this community and I need to show people what success is possible. I need to show other women. And, I've done a lot of shit. I've literally, been out there with the shovel, been out there with the paintbrush, and getting stuff done. So I'm proud of that. And I think my challenge right now is making sure that I am connected with the other gators and private money lenders who are going to help me partner in money lending deals. I really want to put my capital to work. I want to be safe with it. I want to do it with other people who've already done it, and help vet it. And I know I'm meeting with Carrie Ann, but I know you shouldn't be like a motivated buyer and you shouldn't be a motivated lender, but I'm like, okay, let's go. Now that I've made the decision, I'm like, okay, come on, make it happen.
And one of the things we can do on an upcoming future call is we can break out based on what we do and based on like, hey, if you're already money lending, like, let's get together. So we can do stuff like that. So Catherine, we're cheering you on. And I will say, I would put it in every community that you're in, every single one. Like, and I would put it everywhere. I would tag people. I mean, I put that on your LinkedIn, put it on your Facebook, let your friends see. And I know sometimes we get nervous because we're like some of the stuff that I talk about, I'm like, oh, what's my mother-in-law going to think about this? Not about real estate because they own real estate, but other things. And then I realized like, oh, she's not my target audience that I'm actually trying to help in life. So it's okay if she doesn't get it or understand it. It doesn't matter.
That's interesting.
All right. Crystal, tell us what's up, lady.
Oh, let's see if it works. Okay, there it goes. I'm actually parked, so I can I can be on camera. First of all, Catherine, I wanted to make it's never bragging when you're reaching out to a community because, like Katie was saying, it actually does help people. I feel like I'm bragging when I do it, and I hate it. I don't like talking about the things that I'm doing. And honestly, until I really joined this group, I just haven't been posting stuff. To me, it's really cringy. And then I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? I should be celebrating my wins because that's what they are. They're wins. So don't ever feel like, and I mean, some of it's tone, right? Like, don't be an asshole on your post and don't, the tone matters, but it's never bragging. Guys never think, oh, I'm bragging. Like, they're just like, fuck it, I'm putting out there. They don't care. So think of it that way. It's never bragging.
Grant Cardone is never like, I'm bragging when I'm standing in front of my plane. And guess what? He has a plane. Do we have planes? I don't have a plane. I don't think any of y'all have a plane. And we're not going to get to have planes until we actually learn to brag.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not that I want to grow up to be Grant, but you know what I mean? My mentor, Sean, says a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Very true. Very true. Grant's funny though. But I just wanted to share a couple of things. So I am in another women's group. I think I've shared before that I'm with Heather Blankenship in the RV group. And so we have coaching calls once a month. That's one of the services that they kind of offer within the mentorship. And I was talking to my coach today, and I've been in this group only I think this is my third coaching call with her. And I was telling her what we have going on, what I really want out of the coaching, accountability, somebody who's actually going to yell at me if I don't do the things that I say I'm going to do. And then just like someone to spitball ideas off of. And so we start talking about all these things. And she's like, you know what? Your skill in underwriting businesses could be extremely valuable as more people want to get into business buying. And she's going to talk to Heather and one of their other coaches, and I may be teaching a class on how to underwrite businesses for that entire mentorship.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy.
She didn't say it was a guarantee. She's like, let me put this out there because the whole business buying thing for them is fairly new. And so like their mentorship is strictly RV parks, mobile home parks, and then like marketing. And so this would be a brand new thing, kind of ground up that they're talking about doing. Because there's a lot of people asking about business buying. So that came up today. So we will see. I've never done anything like that before. So it makes me kind of nervous because I don't know how to teach a class. I've never done anything like that, but
I got you, girl. I've created so many classes. We got you. We'll help you.
Get Chat GPT to do it.
Oh, trust me, ChatGPT does everything for me. I freaking love that thing.
Has Heather popped yet?
Huh?
Has Heather popped yet? She looked huge when I saw her on Instagram or something.
She's getting there. She's definitely getting there. She's in with Pace now. She's inviting, Pace gave her 15 tickets for community camp.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So she's taking 15 people and their families, obviously, to community camp this year. So she's getting there. He was on her birthday party extravaganza like a month ago. So yeah, she's so fun. She's so sweet too. She's a lot like Paige. She's very much a go-giver. So it's kind of nice to be in there, but it's all women. So that's why I joined it, is because it's all women focused. And obviously you buy to get in those, pay to get in those rooms. So the other thing I have going, that way other people can go, we potentially have a business like in the works. We had a broker that one of my business partners has been talking to off and on for a while about different businesses, talking about how we structure businesses. We like the seller finance and all these things. And he brought us a $20 million plumbing company that just rolled an HVAC company up underneath. One of the three owners wants to stay on as a COO without like major decision making. But the broker also brought us a secondary HVAC company that he is working with that's also off market that we could buy in conjunction with and scale it to be a $40 million business in less than 6 months if we can get our financing right. And we have our call with our private equity firm tomorrow to see what they're willing to do on this project. So we very well could be under LOI and due diligence in the next 30 days.
Incredible, lady.
I'm shocked that it came together as quickly as it did, because he brought in the deal like 2 weeks ago, and he's already talked to the seller, he's talked to the broker many times, and so it's moving along.
And so, first of all, huge congratulations. Second of all, as you've gotten to this point, right? What are 3 things that you've done that you would recommend to anyone who's thinking like, just to get to this point, these are 3 things you absolutely must do?
So my biggest thing that I had to do, and my kind of biggest epiphany, is I had to have a team. Like, I had to create a business buying team. I was trying to do everything on my own from start to finish, from underwriting, broker outreach, funding, everything. I was trying to do it all. Do not do that. I'm one of those people where I'm a control freak. I want to know everything. I want to learn it all. And business buying team 100%, especially on the acquisition side. And especially if you're working in W-2 where you don't have time to do all the things, because it's really big undertaking. So team would definitely be number 1. Reach out and start working on funding before you have a deal. Find people who are willing to go into business with you, whether it be as a partner or just a lender. There's plenty of people out there that will lend on businesses for, whether it be a small equity portion with a buyout or just a lend short term. And I would say, have faith in yourself that you can actually freaking do it. That's been a big challenge for me. Is it's like, okay, what do I know about being an owner? And then I take a step back and I'm like, right now I may not own, but I'm running a $300 million company at a director level. Like, I can own a $20 million company and figure it out. It's not that hard. I mean, it is obviously, but where I'm at in my career has made a big difference. So just have the faith that you can actually damn do it.
I love that so much. And first of all, if you don't know, I have the biggest girl crush on Crystal. When I met her, like the first time I saw her, I'm like, this bitch has pink hair. She's so great. Because I've always wanted pink hair, but I'm like, I can't do that like that. My mother would die, right? Like, I'm like, oh, right, all the things. And so what I love the most about Crystal is that I know that people look at her and totally underestimate her. And then she stands back and she's like, just watch me work. Just watch me do it. And she kills it and crushes it every time. And so, lady, I'm so excited for y'all. That is incredible. And we're going to cheer you on as you get closer to, taking that ball down the field.
Oh, we're super excited. And thank you for those kind words. It's very sweet of you.
Yeah. I mean, I love you for more reasons than just your pink hair, but.
Oh no, I'll take just the pink hair. I mean, yeah. That's how everyone knows me. It's Crystal with the pink hair. That's how Pace is going to remember me. Crystal from Seattle with the pink hair.
Yeah,
that works
well,
out.
And I mean, here's the thing. When somebody has pink hair, you know that they're leading with boldness, right? You're not trying to be a wallflower. You're not trying to blend in. And so to me, I'm just super attracted to cool, badass women who are like, and that's the other reason why I love real estate investors. Why? Because every single one of you on the call, even if you think you're not doing it, you're doing it. You know how many of your friends aren't doing it? They're not putting themselves in a place of like, yeah, I'll get on a call and even introduce myself like Jesse did. They're like, I don't know, I can't do it. Like, that's what I love about female real estate investors, because you're doing something. You're letting everyone else, you're lapping them. You might be going slow. You might be adding doors slowly. You might be figuring it out, but you're doing it. So, Crystal, love you, lady, and can't wait to cheer you on.
Thank you.
Was that from earlier, or did you raise your hand again, lady?
I raised my hand again.
What's happening?
You were talking and Crystal was talking. I remember Anne-Marie Norton, which is Jerry Norton's wife. We were talking about how we met you and all that. And we were talking about, how she loves to help women as well. She wants to be part of this group. So I'm just letting you know. No.
Well,
and she wants to
y'all just see that look of like Anne-Marie Norton, like, okay, Luz, we're going to talk offline.
I have one.
Maybe have her
Laura
like.
Botero was with me when we were talking to them, to Jerry and her. So we were talking and she said, I love to be part of these groups and I want to empower females. I want to empower women. to help women. So
right.
she was very also amazed about the Latinos group, so she wants
Yeah.
to help out on that part. So Laura was on the we were together. We were talking to her, and she
Okay.
was.
Hey,
That's all right.
Caitlin, would it be okay if I ask you to get with Luz and Laura to kind of take this ball and then keep me in the loop? Would that be okay? Okay. This is why I need more help, because I'll not that I will forget this, but I will go on to the next thing, and then this will fall to like number 998 on my list. And Caitlin is so cool because she's like a list person, so she'll help me make sure it doesn't fall off. That is awesome. Thank you, ladies, for just
And
even
the numbers.
okay.
That's fantastic. Can I just say that Jerry was my speaker on Thursday night?
Yeah, how did that go,
Oh,
Catherine?
it was incredible. And like everyone who's anyone in Puerto Rico real estate was there. Some people I haven't even seen for like 2 years were showing up. And then Anne Marie was there. Now, the last time Jerry spoke with Anne Marie, their youngest was still like nursing, and and I didn't really get to bond with her or talk with her at all. Now she's in the audience kind of sparring with Jerry about one of their fix and flips. This woman is doing all the work. I had no idea. And I think because she has 10 kids, I always just sort of figured she was busy with the kids. No, she used Zachary to source the appliances that she's getting, used appliances here in Puerto Rico, and then painting them powder black, and with a car painter of all things. I mean, she's doing the work. Like I didn't know that she was the actual like worker behind the scenes, but she was very much a part of it, and knows what she's doing. Her son is running the hotel, Jared Norton. And so she hung around the whole time. And, I took pictures with her afterwards. And I mean, she's definitely like in the game. She's not just one of these wives who's, just at home with the kids. She is definitely in the real estate game with him. And she's a very strong personality. I really like learned a lot about her just in the last week.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Right?
Like a lot of women, they don't have the spotlight on them, so you don't realize that they're the powerful player behind the scenes, but goes to show you.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Okay, Tammy, what's up, lady?
So I summit. It was there.
Oh, Tammy, we can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we can. Now we can.
Okay. There's something going on with my mic. I'm not sure what's going on. It's driving me crazy. It was nice to meet you at the summit. It was so incredible. I am so glad we got to go. So good. And the people that I got to meet were just incredible people. I don't think I've ever been in a community where people just love getting to know you. I felt almost like it was speed dating, though, in a way, because when there's 2,040 people there, and it's like, okay, that's really nice, and it's nice to meet you, and we're going.
Yeah.
But one person that I met, I think that we have women, I think, are more with imposter syndrome than men do. And my husband is always chiding me about that, because I don't give myself enough credit. And so I met this man who is, he has his own business that it's really kind of interesting. He's trying to help agents to become unicorn agents.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and help wholesalers. And they're active in 4 different states, and want to go nationwide, but want to do it correctly. And so when he found out that my PhD was in business, he started picking my brain, and he says, can we talk more about that? And with me, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have anything to share with you, if it'd be worthwhile. And so then he sent me like his business plan and some different things, and I just went through it with him, or I went through it on my own. And then when we got together on our Zoom, started presenting information. I was like, well, did you think about this? And did you think about that? And his response was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I had no idea. And it all of a sudden I was just like shocked. I'm like, oh, okay, I do have value. I do know things. I can be contributory. And so we must have talked for like an hour, and then he's going to meet with his other partners. He wants to be on his board of directors.
Lady, I mean, this is such a good example, Tammy, because I think there's something that every single one of us is saying to ourselves. We're like, do I add value? Even those of us, I tend to have a very healthy self-ego. I know what I'm great at. I know what I'm not great at. But even still, I think all of us get to a place where we're like, can I do that? Do I have something to offer? And we do. And especially, again, I know that y'all hear me say this every week, and I'm going to say it all the time. If there's only 31.6% of us and we want to expand and get more women outside of just us, we are going to have to own what we know, own our worthiness, even own your imposter syndrome and be like, yeah, I feel like an imposter, but I'm doing it anyway, right? I have doubts whether or not I can do it, but I'm doing it anyway, right? Because nothing is going to change. There's a reason why, if you look at the data of what has happened in corporate America, specifically in companies that have diversified their board of directors and that have diversified their executive leadership team. We know that when at least 33% of their executive leadership team and their board of directors is female, that they have higher net and gross revenues. They have more success. They return more to their shareholders. And so the data inside real estate investing is a little more challenging to get. I'm actually looking for it because I need it. But there's a reason why you all need to be involved. We build homes differently. We build communities differently. We build houses differently. We build hotels differently. We build RV parks differently, right? Like, if we want to see change that we need to happen in the places where our families stay, in the buildings that we work in, buy things in, etc., we have to be a part of it. We've already seen what men can do. They've been doing it for hundreds of freaking years, thousands. Like, this is our time. This isn't about ego. People asked me this weekend, I had a woman last night at dinner, well, why do you care about women? Like, why just women? And I was like, you know how some people are just like animal people? They're like, oh, I would rescue a turtle on the side of the road. Like, oh, I go to the dog shelter, some people are like that. Some women, some of my friends, maybe some of you were like, I couldn't wait to be pregnant. I wanted to be a mom, right? They're like, oh, I knew that was for me. That's how I feel about helping women. I can't explain it. I just in me. I believe that my life's purpose is to help women get where we're supposed to go. I believe that my life's purpose is to help other women so that we can make the impact in the world that we are supposed to make. I can't explain it. Just like when I looked at my friend who wanted to be pregnant and I was like, I don't even understand what the hell you're talking about, but okay. Right. So not everybody has to understand. Some women I've told about Trailblazers and they're like, I don't believe in that. And I'm like, well, cool, then don't come. Like, I don't care. There's women who do. So I love that, Tammy. Any of us who are sitting there going, oh, I don't have anything to give, that's not even true. That's a lie. It's a lie you're telling yourself, and it's a limiting belief that we need to destroy as quickly as possible. Because the truth is, we do need you. We do need your impact. Every single city, state, community, small town, big development, little development, etc. Any piece of real estate in this country needs a woman to be involved in it. Megan, what's up, lady?
Funny because I'm trying to do a serve here, waiting for somebody, and I love how
Are we gonna
Oh,
see
he
you
left.
serve somebody?
Well, there was a sheriff like that pulled up, so I wonder if somebody called me in because I've been waiting in front of this apartment complex for a while. And he pulls up and I waved at him. I'm like, I know a lot of deputies, and I thought it was one of my friends. And this guy just waves back, and I'm like, he might know I'm a process server. I don't know yet. I've never met him though. But I'm like, is he gonna ask me questions like, hey, you want to help me serve this paper? That'd be awesome. I was hoping he'd actually come to my door, but he left. But whatever. Anyways, but no, with your thing about helping women, that's why I started the She's Handy enterprise, So I'm like, so far it hasn't really taken off, but I think women are scared to kind of join. But that's what got me to start my own business or become a contractor because construction companies turned me down. They don't have women on their crews. And I was like, you know what? When I get big in my business or get going, I'm going to go and thank them for not hiring me. So, because that's their fault, that, the guys, And then today I got kicked out of the college today. The vice president, this guy, he was just condescending to me. I'm like, if I was a guy, I don't know if he would have acted like that, but I'm just like, what right have you to come in and use our libraries to print off papers? I'm like, nobody was stopping me. I was being resourceful, but this guy was being an asshole to me. I'm like, I wish I had my phone on record this whole time. I wish I did. I'm like, duh. But anyway.
Megan, you have the craziest stories. Okay, we got to wrap up. It's 7:12. I'm gonna go to bed. So tell us, kickoff celebrations. What can we celebrate with you? What has gone right? And then we want to hear from other people. What can we celebrate with you? Where can we help you, cheer you on?
Well, I'm just I'm trying to find something that's going right. I've been doing a lot of research and fighting this. I'm still fighting the liens on my house. I got an email today that he's fighting me, even trying to take the lien off, even though I won. But I am fighting tooth and nail to get this guy to get laws changed for contractors and to even have roommates too. I'm still fighting on that. I am fighting tooth and nail on all of this. I'm not giving in because I used to give in, and I'm like, no, I'm fucking done with people just pushing me around. I'm fucking done. I'm just so aggravated. I've been working out more hardcore now too. I'm like, I'm getting bigger muscles from it, but I'm just like, this is aggravating, but I'm gonna make it change. If I have to write a book about it, I'll probably become a famous author for it. And that's, that might be, that'd be my win. That title I gave you, the real absurd estate, sort of that was a pretty creative title. I might make a book about it.
Listen, your win right now is you're just keeping going. And sometimes that's our win. Sometimes our win is I'm just putting one foot in front of the other and I'm not stopping, even if it's hard. Well, I love it, lady. Keep kicking butt. Let us know how we can help you.
Thank you.
Maria, tell us what's happening, lady.
Talking to me?
Yes, you.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Maria. So it was awesome when I hear you say to Crystal, the bitch with the pink hair, and she was just. It was so hilarious. I said, wow, in another world, everybody will get offended and be saying words that you can imagine. So I just presented myself here. I'm new. That's the first time that I'm joining the community here.
Lady.
And I'm in a partnership with Laura Botero. I think that she's right here.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for letting me in.
I love it. Well, welcome, Maria. We're excited to have you. We can't wait
Thank you.
Learn more about you and see how we can help you and cheer you on and all the things.
I will be here a few times.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else have a win? My win is that I got through 19 days of 3 conferences and a training, and I'm actually still alive. And I made amazing connections, and I got to talk to so many of you, and I got to hang out with so many of you. And I got a ton of clarity, and I got a ton of, I just know where I'm going. I know that building this fund, raising money from women to invest into women-owned and women-led projects is going to happen. I've heard from so many of you how you all want to help how you see Trailblazers as a place that can give you an opportunity to really go to the next level and be a part of things. And so that's just my win. I'm actually really happy. And then one other win that I have, which I'm really emotional about, but I'm not going to get emotional about, is that Wednesday is my 1 year anniversary alcohol free. But because it's a leap year, today is 365 days. Don't ask me how that math works, but my little thing said 365 days. And if you want to know how your life can change in a year ago, I had no idea what I was doing with my career. I was beating myself up every single day and every single night. I was dissolving a company that I thought was going to be my legacy business. And I literally was like, you're such a loser. And today, 365 days later, I am sitting on a call with 25 badass other females who are in real estate investing, who are doing the thing. I have a clear mind, a present mind. This is just scratching the surface. And so if you ever think that your life can't change, I promise you, and I know that it can. And so if you're not where you want to be, just keep going, because it is awesome. And if anybody ever wants to talk about what it's like to have an alcohol-free journey, I'm happy to share. I will say that before I was drinking a bottle to 2 of wine a night. I knew it was something. I was having 3 a.m. meetings with myself every morning, like, you shouldn't be doing this. What are you doing? I never thought that I could ever survive without I went to a bar last night after RPM wrapped up, and I had a Topo Chico and I had a great time, and I was home and went to bed, right? So anyways, it's just a huge, huge, huge freaking milestone in my life. And I'm excited that I get to celebrate. And I think that God absolutely determined my steps, where he was like, oh, on day 365, this is where you're going to be. So thank you. Who else has a win that we can celebrate? Thank you. Avita, were you going to go? No, Catherine, go for it, lady. What can we celebrate?
No, I also stopped drinking just one day after a deal makers breakfast club on a yacht where I drank a lot of champagne. And then the next day, and then I wasted the whole weekend. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done with this. And I just decided to be done with it. And then the more like I found out about it, and I really did it because I felt like I was sad a lot. And I did feel very overwhelmed with my life and felt like I made a lot of really stupid decisions. And it got me in a place where I was, not where I wanted to be at my age. And I was like, fuck, I've messed up my life. And so I totally relate to that. And I'm so much happier. And also, I have also just decided, like in the last month or so, to go back to the gym and just being very consistent. I was there every day during Squat Up Summit. And just being, just taking care of my body, just deciding to take care of my body. And then by taking care of my body, I seem to have more like brain and bandwidth to take care of business, which wasn't necessarily why I did it. Right. So I totally relate to that. I mean, probably not to the extent that you sound like, the places you've come with it, but I do relate, and I applaud you for that. And, I go to bars now, I go out drinking, I go on wine tasting masterminds, real estate wine tasting masterminds. I've been on 2 of them, and it's okay. I drink grape juice. I drink cranberry juice.
Wow.
Joke about, like, this grape juice tastes like grape with a hint of grape, and I just make everyone wine tasting and just lean into it and own it. And it's fine.
I love that. I have not done that, but I love it. Avita, what can we celebrate with you, lady? We can't hear you.
I was like, I wasn't gonna go, but then I heard my name earlier and I'm like, okay, let's do it. First of all, thank you for being so vulnerable about your journey. I feel like that was really big for you to be able to share with us. And I know we all are very supportive of each other, but still that's really
scary
incredible.
AF. Like, it's very scary. I don't want to tell people that's how much I drink. Do you know how embarrassing and shameful that is? But I also know that if I don't, then I hold that shame. And if I release it, then I'm releasing it. So thank you. I do appreciate that a
And
lot.
and you never know who it'll affect too here that's maybe having the same struggle that maybe doesn't want to share yet or hasn't quite got there. So I think that's amazing. As far as a win, I'm excited because I got to host within Top Tier today. We got to host a Mindset Monday. So we're doing 2 weeks of that. And then also, because I'm not in any sanctioned activities, I'm working with a couple other women, and we're going to be launching a course here pretty soon to try to help entrepreneurs and small business owners. So very excited for it.
Get it, lady. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
excited for you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have a win? Okay, well, I know you have a win, so maybe you're not ready to share it, and that's okay. But I hope that before you close your eyes tonight, you at least pat yourself on the back and remind yourself that even when you're scared, you're showing up. Even when you're nervous, you're showing up. Even when you're like Melissa and people are like, wait, I don't know, maybe this isn't the right thing, you're still showing up, right? As Rocio said, waking up is a win, right? There are some days you just don't want to get out of bed, getting dressed, getting out of bed, right? Like some days that's a win. Not every day can be 100%. Some days are at 10%, but it's still a win because you did it. So whatever you face in the next week, know that you can get through it. Know that Trailblazers, all of us, we're here for you. Utilize our community, utilize other communities that you're in. Make time to be on our call next Monday. I'm super pumped to share with you where we're going, what we're planning, what has been happening in the background and behind the scenes, because we're going to do some really cool stuff for you, right? Like what we're building is for all of you and all of the other women that we are going to help bring into real estate investing. Go be a badass this week. Have an amazing one, and we will see you next Monday night. Bye, ladies.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.